All right, so we got a guy named Rashad Jamal. He's over a cult. Okay, here we go. USA Today. So this story, let me see. 6 people vanished without a trace from a Missouri hotel. Is an online cult involved? Authorities are searching for 6 people who disappeared last year and are believed to be followers of an online cult led by a convicted child M word, Missouri police say. Mm, mm, mm. The Berkeley Police Department told USA Today on Tuesday that 2 children were among the group that vanished in August and are tied to Rashad Jamal, leader of what he calls the University of Cosmic Intelligence. Police described the group as a spiritual cult which has 200,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. 3 of the missing people are based in St. Louis, according to police. 24-year-old Michaela Thompson, 25-year-old Michaela Wickerson, and 3-year-old Malaya Wickerson. Jarrell German, 27, and Aston Mitchell, 3, are from Lakecorn, Mississippi. Naman Williams, 29, is from Washington, D.C. So Michaela, in Malaya. Damn, that's crazy. What's up, Alma? I would like to know that they're okay so I can get a good night's sleep. Shalita Gibson, whose daughter and grandson are among those missing, told St. Louis based news station KSDK. I would like to know they're not hungry, they're not cold, that no one is making her do things that she would have to do, that she would have to pay for in the long run. Jamal denies knowing missing people leading cult. Jamal, whose full name is Rashad Jamal White, denied knowing the 6 people missing and said he does not lead a cult. Jamal told the St. Louis Post Dispatch his University of Cosmic Intelligence is just a spiritual YouTube channel. I'm just giving you my opinion on the plethora of different subjects. From my metaphysics to quantum physics to my molecule molecule biology to marine biology. Does this nigga have the proper certifications to be giving his opinion on these topics, metaphysics and quantum physics? I need to see this. We're gonna see what his background is. Marine biology to geography to black history to the world. I'm giving you my opinions on these things. He told the Post Dispatch. That doesn't make me a cult leader. See, the difference between me and him is if I don't know something, I'm gonna go to a reliable source and try to find out that information. If you guys have information for me, I'll read you guys' comments and then we'll verify it. So I'm not just getting on here making up stuff. I tend to have facts that back everything that I say, even if it's something that I personally have experience with. I try to give you guys some kind of facts from an actual website that a reliable source. So you guys can be like, this nigga Mo ain't bullshitting. This nigga Mo is keeping it real. The members were active on social media and shared Jamal's videos, disconnected from family and friends, quit their jobs, meditated outside without clothes, and had polygamous relationships, police said. They also changed their names to honor what they believe were gods and goddesses. Yeah, this sounds like a cult to me. Jamal's website said the online university is geared toward enlightening and illuminating the minds of carbonated beings, aka your so-called Black and Latino people of Earth. Man, anybody that has this on their website, I'm not participating in it. Group was last seen in August at Missouri Hotel. The 6 people were last seen August 13th at Quality Inn in Florissant, Missouri, which is outside of St. Louis. Berkeley police said it opened an investigation on August 12th into the disappearance of 4 adults and 2 children from a rental home near St. Louis Lambert International Airport. Other members have traveled at great lengths to live off the grid and stay with fellow cult members, police added. In one of the last conversations Naman Williams had with his mother, Lukita Williams, He told her she was not his mother, just a shell that brought him into the universe. The last conversation he had with his mother, he told her she was not his mother, just a shell that brought him into the universe. Yeah, if anyone's talking to you like that, try to get them some kind of help. The purpose of sharing this information is to locate these individuals and bring awareness to other law enforcement agencies who investigate similar missing persons or could come across citizens displaying this type of behavior. Police said it's extremely troubling for the family of the missing people. The level of disconnect these cult members have demonstrated with friends or family is unfathomable. Okay, let's see. What else do we got here? So we do have some information, and we got Law and Crime. Law and Crime has some information that we're going to play also.
Radar map of your neighborhood on fox2now.com.
In other news at 9, 4 adults and 2 young children living in St. Louis vanish without a trace. Police say they joined an online cult before disappearing. Fox 2's Max Deeknight has the latest from the lead detective searching for answers and a mother's desperate plea.
I was trying to let them know that something was not right.
Cartisha Morgan says she is living her nightmare. She hasn't heard from her daughter, 25-year-old Michaela Wickerson, since she and 5 others, including her 3-year-old granddaughter, vanished from her daughter's Berkeley home in August. She says Michaela has been manipulated by an online cult led by Rashad Jamal, a self-proclaimed prophet with tens of thousands of followers. Jamal is currently serving an 18-year sentence in Georgia for child molestation. Morgan says before disappearing, her daughter cut off all communication with her family last March, quit her corporate job, and maxed out her credit cards.
Mental illness is real. Manipulation is real. There are a lot of things that are going on out here, and we just need to be aware of it.
Everything's on the internet now, so why not have a cult on the internet?
Berkeley Police Major Steve Runge has been investigating the group's disappearance for the past 5 months. He helped search the abandoned rental home.
So this is them outside meditating. And we're gonna do a little deep dive into this Rashad character. I've seen him online before, but you know me, I'm an independent thinker, so I really don't go along with the masses. I'll get up here, it'll be me versus 15 people. But if I think of something, I'm gonna stand on what I believe. So you know, we're gonna look at this, and if I don't think that something is right, I'm definitely gonna blame. Man, I ain't. You know me, I'm gonna tell you straight. I'm not fucking with that.
Near Lambert Airport.
Neighbors reported seeing these people outside daily worshiping the sun. If it was raining, they would come outside naked and run around the yard, run around the front yard, run around the backyard. They were digging up things in the yard.
Runge says the group believes in polygamy, is anti-government, and encourages going off the grid. But with no signs of these 6 people in months, their families now fear the worst. Morgan has advice for any parent who sees this story.
If you see something is off, please take measures to get help for them as quickly as possible, because I would have never imagined that. I don't know where my daughter and granddaughter are right now.
Anyone with information about this group's disappearance is asked to contact Berkeley Police right away. In St. Louis, Max Deeknight, Fox 2 News.
Hey, that's the same thing I said. Man, when he said the mother was just a shell, I'm like, man, anyone like that, you got to get them help.
Iowa now leaves Donald Trump in.
Yeah, Trump. All right. Authorities say Jamal is serving an 18-year sentence in Georgia for child M, a ruling that reportedly took effect last year. He was also ordered to 22 years of probation after his jail term. All right. In a video shared on YouTube last week.
What's up?
Hi, Jared.
So this is his website. Although I don't want to get this nigga no views. I really don't want to get this nigga no views, to be honest with you, but let's hear this nigga got us.
The gods and goddesses of planet Kai, peace, many pies with energy always creates elevation.
Peace to the high vibration human beings living university. Peace to the ancestors for working through me. I want to get right to it, man, because I've been holding a lot of shit on my chest. This situation has been going on for a total of 3 years and 2 years with incarceration. And I'm just tired of sitting back, not speaking out on it. So feelings might get hurt, but I don't give a fuck. Y'all already know me. I'm transparent. You know what I'm saying? And I'm always keep it real over rich. So, like I say before I get started, man, if the shoe fits, wear it.
Oh, nigga, we definitely not listening to no hour of your bullshit, nigga. I thought it was like a minute or two. One day when I get my podcast, I definitely want to interview him because he is the truth that we need. I just had to tell him he's in jail for messing with kids, bro. He isn't the truth, man. Get this dude out of here. Damn it. I didn't close everything. So, all right. I do have footage. Let me see. From Law and Crime. Downloads.
If you scared to die for what you believe in, that's okay, but I'm not. So get the fuck out of my way.
6 people missing for months after following this alleged cult leader and self-proclaimed prophet.
I think Rashad fits the usual profile, very narcissistic, very self-obsessed, grandiose claims. He has 90,000 followers, by the way, on Instagram.
We're taking a closer look into the history of alleged cult leader Rashad Jamal White and his group, the University of Cosmic Intelligence.
Grand Rising Cosmic Family. First, let me start by saying peace to the gods and goddesses of planet Kai. Peace meaning positive energy always creates elevation.
August 13th, 2023 was the last time anyone saw 25-year-old Michaela Thompson, 27-year-old Jarrell German, and 36-year-old Michaela Wickerson. This is the last known image of the trio in a St. Louis grocery store. Along with them, 30-year-old Naman Williams, 3-year-old Malaya Wickerson, and 2-year-old Ashton Mitchell all vanished. Their disappearance is now being investigated by a local police department. Friends and family of the missing say they cut off contact with them, some even quitting their jobs or maxing out credit cards. We spoke to cult expert and author of Cults Inside Out, Rick Ross. He says that process likely started slowly before any extreme measures were finally taken.
Well, people gradually unplug. It's a process of increments, step by step, bit by bit. People like Rashad encourage them to do this. And that is one of the early warning signs that something is really wrong, is that you have a loved one who's becoming increasingly socially isolated. And they're obsessed with a particular leader, and you realize that their entire network of friends is now within this group. But it doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly but surely. And in this sense, people don't really realize how far they've gone with these groups because it is a step-by-step increment process.
What we now see as out of the ordinary, cult members may begin to find as reasonable.
I think normal becomes whatever it is within the kind of network or bubble that you exist in online. So what we're seeing is people embedding in kind of networks online where they're only communicating with.
Man, anyone that walk around with jeans with paint on it, once I start seeing 57 bracelets on, 19 chains of complete and utter bullshit, I automatically look at them like, man, I'm not talking to them. I don't care what they got to say. I'm not believing anything they got to say.
Other like-minded people and constantly being reinforced in whatever their new normal is as dictated by the leader. So we think it's crazy. but then we're dealing with the world at large. These people are often cut off, as we hear, from their family, from their old friends, and they're embedded in this alternate reality, this other world online, in which they are following people that are like-minded, conversing with people online, and following, streaming and YouTube videos. It can become, completely encapsulating, where people really have no other access to the real world.
Ross says things start out innocently enough, oftentimes when people are down on their luck.
See, he wearing these same painted jeans all the time. There's nothing wrong with wearing the same pair of pants more than one time. But when it's very distinctive like this, then you definitely got to space them out. You can't take too many pictures in this because we start to, say, hey, them the same pants. But like if you got a pair of blue pants, you can wear blue pants in multiple pictures because it's like, okay, it's a pair of blue pants. But the over-the-top painted pants, cult leader. This right here points to cult leaders.
Well, I think the narrative is usually people are going through a difficult time in their life, and that happens to all of us. We go through bad patches, and they have the bad luck to be approached by someone who introduces them to some group or weekend seminar program or something that seems rather innocent, but in fact is a cult. And the person who's talking to you about this group or activity could be a coworker, a friend, someone you know, someone you trust.
As Ross explains, there are several things that determine whether a group is actually a cult.
Well, we look for three things to form the core, the nucleus of what a destructive cult would be. Number one, is the leader the defining element and driving force of the group? And is the leader a dictator with no meaningful accountability? And has he or she become an object of worship? Second, does the leader manipulate people in identifiable ways that line up with coercive persuasion? In other words, is he gaslighting people? Is he manipulating them, isolating them from family and friends to control what they hear, what they see, to gain undue influence? And finally, three, having gained undue influence, does the leader use it to take advantage of his or her followers, exploit them, and do harm to them?
In this case, Ross believes the University of Cosmic Intelligence is in fact a cult, and that Rashad Jamal is its leader. The leader of this alleged cult or group, his name is Rashad White. He goes by Rashad Jamal. And according to his Instagram, he's a self-proclaimed prophet. He calls himself a revolutionary, and he calls himself also a luminous being. Is it possible that he believes in all of this?
In my experience, most of the cult leaders that I deal with are grifters.
What up, Elder? I don't know, man. That's when it comes to cults, we've covered some stuff on here. We did the Waco. I really don't. I don't know, man. I know everybody's different. I don't see how people can get caught up into, like, even when it comes to the church. I do believe that there's a higher being. There's something out there that's more powerful than all of us. But even when it comes to church, like when they listening to pastors and everything and having them preaching the sermon to me, like, no disrespect to them or anything, but most of the time I think they're bullshitting. That's for any religion. Like, when I hear it, like, I'm not disrespecting nobody's religion or anything. It's just when a human being tells me this stuff, it's like, man, I'm living life, and some of the stuff that you're saying isn't applying to what actually goes on in real life. Now, it may have happened back then when they were writing this stuff, but I say all of that to say, when it comes to these cults and someone saying, hey, we are these kind of beings and I'm a prophet. Nigga, you ain't no prophet. You a regular person just like me, man. If I want to go be a pastor, I can go to school and become a pastor. You see what I'm saying? Anyone can go do that if they want to do that. So it's not like you were handpicked. It's just, do you personally go follow your instincts to go do it? But I don't know, man. It's tough when you hear people. I won't say it's a mental illness to be in a cult, but it's just maybe at some point in life you were misguided. Because there's no way I can look at this dude Rashad and say, man, this nigga has the answers. There's no way. Into cat, like you said, what? Go max out my credit card, go cash out my bank accounts for what? What are we doing? Go sit outside in the sun? Okay, I do that when I hit the beach. When it's raining, I'm not going outside butt booty naked, running around the backyard. Hee. No, that doesn't even sound right.
Con men, they don't really believe their own hype. If they do cross that line, it becomes dangerous because then they are delusional and may, harm the people that are following them by acting basically insane, unplugging from reality, taking all of their followers over the edge with them. I think Jamal Rashad fits the usual profile, very narcissistic, very self-obsessed, grandiose claims. He has 90,000 followers, by the way, on Instagram. And of course, he has a YouTube following and so forth. This is the wave of the future. Groups called cults are recruiting online, and anybody could be targeted.
Peace to the gods and goddesses of Planet Kai. This has been brought to you by the ancestors first, then the University of Cosmic Intelligence. We love the rich. Now we rise. I leave as I come. One, I say.
Rashad Jamal boasts thousands of followers on Instagram and TikTok, where he speaks the word of his group. That includes promoting polygamy, living off the grid, and anti-government beliefs that sound a lot like conspiracy theories.
Winner not real. The true name is...
All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to listen to this. And what I want everyone to just put in the chat is, hey, man, do you believe what he's talking about? Because we're all going through this right now. So let's see what he says.
That sound a lot like conspiracy theories.
Winner not real. The true name is a weapon. The true name of winner is called Sub-Zero technology. They put ice cream, they made fake clouds, and then they put ice crystals in the clouds. And then they use these fake 5G towers to activate these fake ice crystals in these clouds. So this is how they be looking, right? We've seen this before, y'all, and never thought nothing of it. All them birds on the power line, you don't be thinking of it, like, oh, but they sitting there actually charging up. All right. These are your government drones. They fly all over and they record surveillance.
Does that make things more?
All right. So he said winter isn't real. Winter isn't real. Winter is called Sub-Zero Technologies. Let's do a little bit of research. Winter. All right. So when did winter get its name? Winter is not only the coldest part of the year in snowy locations, but it's also often the wettest. That's a defining characteristic that in part gave winter its name. The word winter is recorded in Old English and is related to the words wet and water. Winter. Wet and water. Many cognates in the Germanic and in other Indo-European languages. The word's longevity is a hint to its importance. The Anglo-Saxons continued their years by how many winters had passed. Well, they counted their years by how many winters had passed. So Sub-Zero technology wasn't even around when winter was first established, because they're telling us that this is way back when. So that go ahead and gets rid of something. Now, what he's talking about with the crystals in the cloud, that is true. The crystals in the cloud, there's no crystals in the cloud, but there are fake snow clouds and rain clouds. Over in Dubai, they do that. They're able to put electricity up into the clouds to make false rain. But all that is just doing is just you're creating water out of the oxygen and the electricity. I'll show you that part. That part is real, but the crystal part is fake. Like, he's taking bits and pieces of the truth and putting his own little bullshit spin to it. Let me see. No, Dubai rain clouds. This is called cloud seeding. This is a real thing, but it's not like they're trying to hide it. They say we do this in order to have water and rain over here in the desert. So this is real.
Welcome to the futuristic oasis of Dubai, where the impossible becomes possible. In this mind-blowing video, we unveil the mind-boggling technology behind Dubai's breathtaking artificial rain. Join us as we take a journey through the clouds, exploring the extraordinary science of cloud seeding and how it has transformed this arid desert into a lush paradise. Get ready to be amazed as we reveal the secret behind this awe-inspiring innovation that is reshaping the world as we know it. Buckle up, because you're about to witness nature being controlled like never before. Dubai, a gleaming metropolis rising from the Arabian desert, dazzles the world with its architectural wonders and luxurious lifestyle. However, beneath the shimmering facade lies a harsh reality, the region's severe water scarcity problem. With scorching temperatures and scanty rainfall, finding a sustainable water source has been an ongoing struggle for the city. In the face of this pressing challenge, Dubai's forward-thinking leaders embarked on a mission to revolutionize their approach to water management. Aware of the limitations of natural rainfall, they sought innovative solutions to secure a reliable water supply for the city's ever-growing population and thriving industries. Enter the awe-inspiring concept of artificial rain, an ingenious solution that has captured the world's imagination. Artificial rain, also known as cloud seeding, is a cutting-edge technology designed to stimulate rainfall from existing clouds. The process involves introducing cloud seeding agents, such as silver iodide or potassium iodide, into the atmosphere to encourage water droplets to form around these particles. These droplets eventually grow large enough to fall as rain, replenishing the parched lands below. Dubai's ambitious cloud seeding program is a well-orchestrated symphony of technology and innovation. The city has embraced this revolutionary technique as a means to supplement its meager natural rainfall and address the ever-increasing water demands. As temperatures soar and water reserves deplete, cloud seeding emerges as a beacon of hope in the...
Yeah, there's no crystals. It's just cloud seeding. But they're just generating rain out of the, you know what I'm saying, out of the cloud. That's all they're doing. So he's taking bits and pieces of the truth and putting his own spin to it to make it seem like he knows what the fuck he's talking about. But he doesn't. Then he also said that pigeons are recording devices. Well, pigeons were around before electrical lines were up around anywhere. So what do you mean? The government, who could barely make a damn vehicle. Let's see something. So we got the Ford Model A, 1903. Okay. In the early 1800s, passenger pigeons were the most common birds on Earth, numbering in billions. So wait, he's telling us that pigeons are charging up on the electric lines, but there were no electric lines in the 1800s. So you mean to tell me that the government had the technology? They said, listen, let's build 1 billion pigeons with high-tech cameras, microphones, and we'll charge them up on electric lines. But they couldn't build a fucking car that could go over 10 miles per hour. That's what you mean? That's what you're telling me? Is this seminar over with? So you mean to tell me that pigeons were man-made with electric devices inside of them, But we couldn't make an airplane, but we could make a fucking pigeon fly, an electric pigeon fly that has a nest and eggs. So you mean to tell me that the eggs, the baby robots being built? What is that? I'd have to raise my hand if I was in the seminar. Hey, yo, quick question. So where do they manufacture all these pigeons at? That's what I want to know. Where are these pigeons coming from? And where are they getting the crystals to put in the clouds? Like they're putting actual crystals up there? This don't sound right, Rashad. I know I'm making light of the situation, but these are like simple questions that you could just go fact check on your own, though. Rashad, I want to be here. I just want to make sure that everybody understands that pigeons, I've seen animals attack pigeons, and there wasn't no electronics on the inside, or no microphones, or no cameras, no speakers. I'm just saying. That's all. I just want to know, Rashad. I just want to know.
Like these fake ice crystals in these clouds. So this is how they be looking, right? We've seen this before, y'all, and never thought nothing of it. All them birds on the power line, you don't be thinking of it, but they sitting there actually charging up. All right, these are your government drones. They fly all over and they record surveillance.
Does that make things more?
He also mentioned the 5G towers. Well, if you remember during the pandemic, there were a lot of those Negroes out there. Those, when I say Negroes, I'm referring to every race of fools. But there were those people, man, that 5G tower. I got 5G right now. Hello? Do you know there's radiation in the ambient environment right now, right? Like there's always going to be radiation on the earth because the earth emits radiation. The 5G towers were no different than the 4G, the 3G, the 2G towers. It's all the same shit. It's not even giving off radiation. Radiation is going off of radio wavelengths, not radiation. There's not radiation transferring from that tower over there to my phone. No, it's a wavelength that's going through those two. There's a wavelength. It's no different than your Wi-Fi. I dealt with radiation. I know what the fuck radiation is, and that's not radiation being emitted from that. There's radiation in everything in the world has radiation emitting from it. It's just so low that you can't detect it. Now, most humans, you're gonna, like me, I was an emergency responder, so I could experience up to 5 rem per year. Most humans, they don't experience over, I think it's 0.5 millirem. So since I responded to emergencies and I dealt with actual radiation, I was authorized to be exposed up to 5 rem per year. Now, anything over that, we had these little dose dosimeters that you put on, and they actually keep track. So every time you go into a hazard area or a response, you wear a little dosimeter, and throughout the year to keep track of it. So every quarter we'd have to send them back so to keep your records to know how much radiation you've been exposed to. So and if you were a regular person wearing one of those, because depending on where you worked at, we would have to go out there and issue one. Everyone would get their own personal one, and you couldn't let no one else wear it. You had to put it in a lead cabinet so no radiation would be able to get in. But each quarter we'll go collect them all, we'll send them off, and we'll get your doses of how much you've been exposed to. And then we'll say, hey, this person can't work this month or this quarter because they've been exposed or they've been overexposed, underexposed, saying your long exposure shit. So when it comes to radiation and people start talking about that 5G shit, man, I just stopped commenting it because, it's just, motherfuckers just be talking. Motherfuckers just be talking. Exactly. You got the lead apron when you go to the dentist. When you go get an x-ray, you'll put on the, depending on how you get the x-ray, you'll put one over your genitalia because that's the most prone to radiation effects, saying your reproductive system, then your organs. So all of those, yeah, you'll have that. But even you'll see when they do, say you're going to get an x-ray, whoever's doing your x-ray, you'll see them behind a wall. Like I would have to go out there, say if we're doing an x-ray in here, I'd have to take I'd have them turn the x-ray on. I tell them to shoot the x-ray. I'll be outside the door. If there's a waiting area over there, I got to go on that side of the wall, on that side of the door, and I got to take a radiation sample. So we can see they got to turn it up as high as possible because we got to go for worst case scenario. So I'll take my sample on the outside. I'll come in. We'll put a water jug down to simulate the human body. I take a sample right at where the x-ray is on high. Like I said, I could be exposed to more than everybody else because, you know, my shit's monitored monthly. They always got to be protected by that. So I would always have to go out and do that. So when people talking radiation, I'm like, dog, it don't work like that. I had cesium-137 pieces. Used to have to go out there. That's how we took our sample. Like, man, I did all of that. It's cool times, though. But yeah, 5G is not giving off the radiation. It's going off wavelength. So I don't know, man. It's just the uneducated. The fake ice crystals. All right, let me play this and we'll go back and debunk some more of his ideas.
Because the internet can go anywhere. I mean, you don't have to be in a physical proximity of a cult leader or organization. You can just Google it and kind of get sucked in that way. Does that mean that we're all more at risk?
Sierra, I think it's even more ominous than that. I think that minor children can be recruited online with their parents not even knowing that they're interacting with a cult or a cult leader, because anyone with a smartphone, anyone with access to the internet is possibly a target for cult recruitment. And we've seen this over and over and over again. I mean, there was a group that recently has been exposed. I dealt with them over the years, called Love Has Won, led by Amy Carlson. There's a documentary about her, calling herself Mother God. She would recruit online, raise money online, and constantly do events streaming online. Another group with the leader who also, by the way, is in jail, like Rashad Jamal in Georgia, is a group that called itself the Ethereans and later Carbon Nation, led by Elizio Bishop, who's now, for abuse, like Rashad Jamal, in jail. He recruited online and would sequester his followers at an Airbnb in Central America. So this could happen to anyone, and recruitment online is now the norm.
Right now, Rashad Jamal is serving an 18-year prison sentence in Georgia for multiple child molestation and child cruelty convictions. He was sentenced back in August and has since filed a motion for a new trial. Now, he's been convicted of multiple crimes. Does that make things more difficult? I mean, the cult leader is behind bars. How is he going to communicate?
Well, that's interesting because, Warren Jeffs, who is now in prison in Texas for horrible abuse of children, raping minor children, he still runs the cult, the polygamous cult called the FLDS, from prison. So it is possible for leaders to continue to communicate with their followers, even though they are incarcerated. Sounds crazy, but that's what is going on.
It's not the first time Rashad Jamal or his followers have been involved in criminal activity. Damian Winslow Washam was eventually found not guilty by reason of insanity for murdering his mother with a sword. Crystal Pickens was sentenced to life in prison, and Yasmin Hyder sentenced to 35 years after robbing and murdering a Florida college student back in 2022. So does that relate at all to the case here of these missing people, that some of the followers could be dangerous?
Well, I think that this particular group, led by Rashad, is dangerous. I mean, he's in prison for violent crimes against children. And so what we see is that there is a feeling that the ends justify the means, which is a typical philosophy in cults. In other words, if I, the leader, say that it is just for you to execute someone that I feel is an enemy of our higher power, of our existence, then you should do it. And it's not really a crime morally or ethically, because the ends justify the means. And so many times with cult groups, we see them, going off the rails into criminal activity led by a leader who feels that there should be no limit to their power.
Beyond committing dangerous crimes, police in Missouri also report the missing cult members acting in strange ways, such as running outside naked during a rainstorm or digging things up in their yard.
People that are in groups called cults, at the dictates or suggestion of their leader, may do really bizarre things. I mean, let's look at the followers of Amy Carlson, Mother God. She would make demands of them. They would do odd things. In the end, when she died, they would not accept her death, and they wrapped her body in Christmas lights and worshiped it. So there are groups and there are followers that we see that seem to be detached from reality. The leader creates a new reality, and that becomes their new normal.
But making choices dictated by one sole leader leads down a slippery slope.
Slippery slope.
What is the danger of somebody idolizing another human, putting them above everyone else?
I think the danger of worshiping a cult leader is that the leader has no real accountability, and that the leader is saying, I represent a higher power. So if you question me, you are questioning God. You are questioning that higher power. And so you feel that you cannot question the leader. And therefore, the leader can rationalize or justify anything. And this leads to abuse. That kind of power with no checks, no bounds.
All right, they just going in on what the cults are, but I mean, they had her in Christmas lights. 'Tis the season, right? But that's kind of what we were hearing. And what's the name about the underground tunnels? Now this piece,
yeah, we're gonna play a little game.
So this piece of equipment here, this one right here is how we could use this equipment. We could check alpha particles, beta particles, gamma, and X-ray. So that's what this is right here. Now, don't mind me, I'm joking around here. This is just me. So this right here, no matter, like, you see it's already in the gray because that's the background. That's the background radiation. So like what's going on right now. But as you hearing it tick, you can put headphones on this too in case you're outside. But this right here, it'll detect wherever the radiation is the most strongest at. So say you got to find a radiation piece, like the cesium-137, that's what we use to calibrate all of the equipment. So you will put that on there. Like I knew there's like calculations to do like all the half-light and all that. We don't even know that shit. But right now you're going to hear it ticking because the piece is locked up. So we had to keep all radiation pieces locked up. And this little bitty circle piece, the cesium-137, if you leave it in your pocket for an hour, it'll burn through your skin. So if you just listen, like, yeah, I'm joking around, but so this is going to be showing you exactly where the radiation is the most strongest within this room.
Yeah, we're gonna play a little game called Find That Push. Where that? Where that? Oh shit, is in somebody's DM.
And you see how it turned red? Because if you were exposed to that too long, you see the background started turning red. But if I pull the cesium piece out, you got to always wear some glove, because if not, you got to make sure you wash your hand. You got to wash your hands 3 times with regular soap, or you got to get this lead type. It's kind of like a degreaser that you got to wipe your hands off with, because after touching the little cesium piece, touching your face, you'll be putting the radiation on your face. So you get a long exposure to that, it'll definitely mess you up. But this piece of equipment here, it can find the smallest radiation piece. Now, when there was an F-15 that crashed, we actually had to respond to it. So I was out there, but instead of using the handheld, I got the strap that you put over your shoulders. This ain't no pause because this is me working. So you put the strap over your shoulder, you put the headphones on, and then there's the alpha piece, the alpha and which one is it? The alpha is a handheld, but it's just a little circle like this that you got to use your hand. Then you got the beta one. It's the same one pretty much. It'll do alpha and beta. Alpha, you can just wash that off with water. Beta is stick to your clothes. And then gamma and X-ray, it's going to go through your body. But in order to find the little piece, because there's a radiation piece inside of a jet that we got to find that they use for the GPS, I had to go out there and I was scouring. We had to do a section, and we had 3 people, but we had to do it in, you do it in increments. So I had the first section because I was the first responder, and I went out there, but I had you tape the X-ray part down to your ankle. So while you're walking, but you got to take small steps because it takes about a second or 2 to read it. But yeah, man. And then this is the piece right here. So this right here is the cesium 130. This little bitty piece right here, but let that shit get on your skin for an extended period of time. Oh, I'm talking about it'll burn a hole through your thigh. Yeah, so this is cesium 137. We had about 4 of these pieces. Now, you see it says September 22. That's just the date, like, for it to be calibrated, because there's a half-life for all of this, but the half-life is like 350 years or something like that. Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I miss this stuff. I ain't gonna lie to you. Then you had the Ronald McDonald. Nah, so you're all right with X-rays. So when it comes to X-rays, of course, X-rays are dangerous if you don't use them correctly. But when we would go out, we wouldn't use this equipment. That equipment I was just showing you, we wouldn't use that. We used the little I forgot what the hell was it called. It was the Ronald McDonald? Let me see. We called it that because it was red and yellow. So was it a Geiger counter?